Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and today we're looking at Boom Studios Power Rangers Prime Issue 2. If I can get my camera steady without bouncing around, which I do apologize for. So this is written by Melissa Flores, illustrations by Michael Hugh, colors by Fable Macus, and letters by Ed Dukeshire, and I apologize if I said any names incorrect. So Rita Repulsa has landed on Earth. And she here realizes that there is a foreign presence on this, so the Eltarians, and she still feels the pull of a morphing grid and finds the broken samurai morpher that was snapped in issue 1, which I didn't notice at the time when I did that review, so I apologize for missing that piece of key evidence. So she instantly is approached by the Eltarian Queen and Bulk Meyer, who is one of her elites, and he looks pretty strapping in this picture, so not the Bulk Meyer that we are perhaps used to. She also doesn't have a fully fledged wand. She has a little wand, which I actually think is quite cool. So she's still trying to find her magic, and she manages to pull together a monster and introduce herself. Meanwhile, we have her son and this lad whose name I can't remember their names. It's only issue 2. Please don't hate on me. And he is called a roofie, which is quite offensive. That's what they're calling humans, because they are the dominant species on this planet. So when he found Lauren and took her into his apartment, he didn't realize he was a Power Ranger. He was trying to help because he knew what it was like to be thrown into an Eltarian detention. But he is told that Power Rangers get treated a lot worse than that. So Rita goes on the offensive, and it's quite an interesting little fight, one that she clearly wins. Meanwhile, back at the apartment, the raid continues, and Orion, whose name I did manage to remember, has a ruse to send the Eltarians on. He didn't want to let them in, and he said that's because the dog will run out. The dog runs out. He says, "Oh, you best come help me and grab him." So that is the distraction that helps him and Lauren escape. Meanwhile, Rita is trying to acquaint her with Bulk Meyer, and she affirms that you are not the rulers of the planet. The Eltarians are. Meanwhile, her monster attacks her, but Bulk Meyer points her out, and she manages to destroy the monster herself. So, realizing that her monsters have minds of their own and are doing things of their own, she decides to ask Bulk Meyer, spare Bulk Meyer's life, and for him to come and help her. I need some minions, basically. So, Bulk is one of those minions. Meanwhile, they all gather at a different place, which is looked after by this dude. That's his home, and his flatmate is a human, and he expects that she perhaps will be a bit supportive. He also didn't take his keys and is locked out of his house. So they don't agree, and she's about to call somebody. They get into a little scrap, and then it's stopped, and June says, she's a Power Ranger, we've got to try and look after her, etc. Rhea says this planet is under subjugation, so it's been taken over, and you have a choice to make. You can either stay in this and be a creature of this, or you could be liberated and freed. So Rita, in this scenario, isn't actually the bad guy. The Eltarians are. And if we go back to Boom Studios, the Eltarian War, the Eltarians wanted to take over Earth and make it one of their colonies. So, but in this scenario, that's actually been achieved. So it's up to Bulk Meyer. So meanwhile, June thinks he's got his roommate to Tina to agree to this as well. But that is unfortunately not the case, as we switch over to the VR Troopers, which I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan that VR Troopers are in this comic book at all. You know, they should have their own comic book. I guess it just provides a different scenario. It's meant to be the same universe, but not a fan of VR Troopers in this. This is meant to be a Power Ranger book, not a VR Troopers book. Keep them somewhere else. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe, you know, and I like VR Troopers. I generally liked it. I watched 2 seasons. I enjoyed them. And yeah, if they got their own comic book, I probably would pick it up, but I wouldn't. They should be in a Power Ranger book. You know, there are so many Power Ranger characters out there, and they're creating this new dimension, etc. Why? Maybe in time that it will grow on me, but there are plenty of Rangers, villains, etc. that could have been utilized for this new dimension. Anyway, we have the VR Troopers, and they are not going to go tackle Rita Repulsa. They are going to go grab themselves a Power Ranger, and to be continued in issue 3, which will come out at the end of January. So there we go. So issue 2. So some more character developments. I'm really sorry. I do not remember every character's name. You know, give me 10 issues, and if I'm not remembering then I should be embarrassed. But, you know, a couple of issues in, it's difficult. These are not characters. They're new characters, which is great. So that's why I can apologize. But nice artwork. Good storyline. I think it's growing. The VR Troopers bugged me, but perhaps I'll get over that at some point. Anyway, if you like my video, do please support my channel by subscribing. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I really appreciate it. Make sure you look after yourself. And as always, embrace the geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.